All right, everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Create Your Own Truth. I am sitting at my desk today. I didn't feel like being on the floor, and I could tell if I didn't just sit down and record, I wasn't going to end up doing this today. So I'm glad I pulled everything out. I took a few notes, but I'm basically just going to talk. And yeah, I went on my stories yesterday on Instagram and talked about how we can't do it all. And I wanted to create an episode on this because I know there's others who can relate, who are like me, and we try to take on too much. And, especially me running my own business, I get excited with different projects and ideas and ways I can impact clients and you name it. It is very exciting to me. I get a lot of drive and passion about it. This is why I created my business in the first place. But sometimes that excitement leads to just feeling like I am spread way too thin and I become very burned out because I do run my business about 6 days a week. And I don't have like set hours, which is my own fault because it's my business. So I can set hours if I want to. I can create certain work parameters if I want to, but I currently don't really have them in place. So if I want to work 7 days a week, I work 7 days a week. In addition to that, I have a part-time job. I work 3 to 4 shifts a week and it's on my feet. So it's very exhausting. And I try to work out 4 times a week. I, have my own fitness journey that I'm on. I try to take care of myself. I am currently running like 5 projects, or I was. I'll talk about that in a minute. But through my business, I took on like 5 different ideas and projects that I was super excited about. So I have a lot going on, and we bought a home. We just painted this room. Like there is always something going on. So whether you can relate to running your own business or not, I can guarantee there's so many things that are running through your mind right now where you're like, yep, I've got this going on, that going on. I have this on my plate. So I know a lot of people can relate to this, which is why I wanted to create an episode on it. But I've just been feeling like I've been spreading myself too thin. So I have been really working on this. I'm in 2 different coaching programs with 2 different coaches, and they've both been helping me through this. And it's been very, very helpful so that I can overcome this and any beliefs that I have around slowing down that I maybe need to rewire. And today is a day where I feel a little bit better. Yesterday, I was super drained physically and mentally. I had worked the previous 3 days at my part-time job. So yesterday was my first day back at home with just clients and running my business. But that's the other thing. Like when I have such a busy schedule, sometimes the days where I'm supposed to be working on my business in between clients, I'm out running errands because things need to get done for the house, like groceries or cleaning or laundry, whatever. So that is something else that we add onto our plate as well. So there's always something. And I wanted to create an episode on this because we can't do it all. It's impossible. We are human. We can't do it all. Even with things that excite us, like the 5 projects I thought of, like all in the same week, basically, for my business. I got super excited and I have a lot of drive. I have a lot of passion. And so sometimes I get a little too excited and I'm like, I can handle it. I'll make a to-do list for each thing that I want to do and what I need to get done for each project. And I'll just tackle them one task at a time. That doesn't always work. And I've had this like to-do list little pad with a different page for each project for the last like 5 or 6 weeks. And it has been stressing me out. Every time I look at that list, I'm just stressed out because there's like 10 things on each list for each project. And that is just unrealistic. Like now that I'm speaking it out loud, that is insane. So I have been really working with my coaches on trying to slow down, do less, rest more. And a lot of it just comes down to that we cannot give our best energy to anything if we are trying to pour from an empty cup, if we are spreading ourselves too thin. What's that saying? Like, you can't half-ass something, you have to whole-ass something, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you can't give your best energy to anything if you have not that much energy to give. Like, if you don't have your best energy to give. And for the projects that I have going on with my business currently, and even just like tending to my clients, I need to be able to give my best energy. So I'm actually doing a disservice to myself, my community, my clients, if I am giving it just half of my energy because I'm just pressuring myself to try to do everything all at once. Like, it is really hard to take on all of these projects, run your own business, have a part-time job, try to keep up with your own workouts and, staying healthy and nourished, and trying to keep up with household duties and trying to practice self-care. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. So I think I needed this reality check to just check in with myself and say, hey, it's okay to slow down. And it always helps to have a support system. My coaches have been amazing. I have people in my life who I can always lean on for talking and venting and support. And they've been amazing as well, just encouraging me to slow down and do my best. And that's all that I can do. So yes, that is what this episode is on. I don't know exactly how long it will go. I just wrote a few bullet points, but one thing that one of my coaches really wanted me to examine was looking at where these beliefs come from, because I've always been a quote unquote go-getter. I've always been driven. I've always loved like feeling productive. I love to-do lists. I am, a projector. I am type A. I love planning. I love organizing, but that also comes with a fault, because what one of my coaches suggested was examining where the thoughts come from or the beliefs, I should say, because they are a belief. It's not a fact, that I can't slow down. The belief that I have to work so hard to be successful. The belief that if I have any free time, I'm not working hard enough. The belief that, I need to cross off my entire to-do list or I didn't do enough. All of those beliefs that need dismantling. So I've been trying to really hone in on where they come from. And it's certain things maybe from my past that I've seen from family or friends, or just things in society that have pushed us to pressure ourselves into doing more. And honestly, like, this whole grind that is so glamorized on social media is very harmful, because all we're doing is running ourselves into the ground. And I think a lot of what people don't show on social media is when they burn out. And I have experienced that so many times. And what that ends up looking like is me going silent on social media for like a week or two, because I'm in just such a funk, such a rut. I have burned myself into the ground and I need to come to like a full stop. And I don't really want to do that anymore, because I would rather just kind of continue on at a steady pace that is realistic, that is allowing rest, allowing me to slow down so that I don't burn out, so that I don't have to take as many breaks unless I literally am choosing to. Because at that point, I can't really like show up if I'm not feeling my best mentally. Like, it really is, hard to show up and try to run my business online if I am just feeling like crap mentally. So I am just really learning to slow down. I went through those big to-do lists and that are on the little pad that I have, and I scrapped 2 of them completely. I'm going to save them for when I feel rested and aligned with wanting to offer those projects and work on those projects. But right now, they're just not taking precedence. So I'm just going to set them aside. And then on another big to-do list I had, I literally went through, I think it was yesterday morning, and crossed off like 5 or 6 things that I just don't need to do right now. And maybe I don't need to do them ever, but right now they're just not needing to be done. And what that allowed me to do was to really hone in on what I want to prioritize. Because just for example, out of these 5 projects, like that's just one area of my life where I'm feeling burnt out. So out of those 5 projects, I have 2 that I would really like to focus on and 1 that really needs to take priority right now. So that 1 is going to be my main focus. And what I'm going to start getting back to is just like little increments of time into my schedule that I factor in. That's like 30 minutes for working on task A for this project, or, then maybe to the next day, an hour here, unfocused or undistracted focused time that is for task B on this project. Like whatever is on my to-do list for that specific project is what I'm going to do. I can set a timer. That's another reason I needed an office door, is just to have quiet, alone time, focused, no distractions. And that is what really helps me get a lot of work done. I just throw on some headphones, some instrumental music, and I just pound out a bunch of work. So I am going to get back to focusing on just that one thing, in addition to my clients. And, that's obviously the main part of my business. That's a huge, important part of my business is my clients. So tending to them and then working on this one project. And that's going to be my 2 main focuses for my business right now. The other project that I don't really want to let go of right now is something that I am super passionate about, and I know it can make a big difference. So I think I'm not going to put that off to the side, really. I'm just going to wait until I have energy and when I feel called to work on it. And I'm kind of making little edits here and there. A lot of it is done, but it still needs a lot of work. But I think I'm just going to wait till I am feeling energized to work on that project, feeling called to work on it, and I'm having fun with it. So yeah, I took a lot off my plate with regard to my business. And honestly, like even with my workouts, like my workouts are so important to me. My health is very important to me, but I'm doing the best that I can. My body has been very tired lately, and my schedule has been all over the place. So even if I do have a day off from my part-time job, if I have 4 clients and, I need to get work done on the project that I'm working on, and I need to also do laundry and head to the grocery store, I'm just giving myself a lot of grace with my workouts. So yesterday I did, I think, 1 circuit out of 3. Okay, better than nothing. And that's something I want you to look at and examine in your own life. If you are feeling burnt out, how can you still show up for yourself in a way that dismantles perfectionism? Because I've talked about this before, I talk about this a lot, but we have to be able to rewire that all or nothing mentality and still show up and strengthen the habits that we want to strengthen and show up for the people that we want to be. So for me, getting 1/3 of a workout in is better than nothing. And instead of saying, oh shoot, I haven't worked out since Monday, I may as well wait till next Monday. Like, no, I don't want to do that. So I got 1/3 of a workout in yesterday. I got 2 circuits done today. So I got 2/3 of a workout done today. And I feel good going to the gym and, getting out of the house and getting some movement in. And it doesn't need to be all or nothing. Like, we really have to just show up with the energy that we can and give it the best that we can. That's all that we can ask of ourselves. I can't expect myself to get 4 or 5 workouts in for an hour each time if that's just not realistic. Like sometimes when I go to my part-time job, I go to work at 10 and get home at 5, and I have 2 clients before work and I have a client after work. So I'm up at 5:30. I do my non-negotiable morning routine, which is super important to me. That's something I don't miss, even if it's for 10 minutes. So I get up at 5:30, maybe by 6 if I'm feeling extra tired. I do my morning routine, and get dressed, have a little breakfast, make the bed, and then I have 2 clients. Then I go to work for 6 or 7 hours, and then I have a client when I come home. So tell me where I am supposed to fit a workout in there when I am exhausted and sorry, I'm not going to work out at 5 a.m. So this is where it's just unrealistic to say that I can do it all. I cannot do it all. I can't force my body into exhaustion. I can't force my mind into exhaustion just because I'm putting pressure on myself to try to stay up with my fitness routine. Like, I'm doing the best that I can. So I encourage you to show up with that same energy and just show up for 5 minutes. Or if it's a day where you just need total rest, be okay with needing that total rest. This is just a season of life. We're not always going to be this tired. We're not always going to be this, spread thin. So see what you can take off your plate, because there usually is something where we just don't need to be pressuring ourselves with it. Case in point, those other 3 projects that I just removed from my plate right now. Am I still passionate about them? Of course. Will I offer them in the future? Maybe, if they still align. But maybe they won't down the road. But what can you take off your plate that just is not necessary right now? And then what is left that is a priority? How can you show up with a little bit of effort? That 5 or 10 minutes a few times a week. How can you prioritize nourishing your body, your mind, your soul so that you don't burn out? And how can you do that without having that guilt come up? Because again, I want you to look back at where these beliefs come from in our lives. And if guilt is associated with them, that, you're not doing enough, you're not working hard enough, you can handle one more thing, remove that guilt and be so, so gentle to yourself and tell yourself you're doing the best that you can. Sometimes we just need that reminder that, hey, I made it another day. I'm doing the best that I can, and I cannot do it all. So I guess that's all I wanted to say. I know that people out there can relate to this. They put too much pressure on themselves. They try to do too much. And especially if you have people relying on you in your life, I know that's tough. I can only imagine how difficult it can be to try to prioritize yourself, but just remember that you deserve to put yourself first. You deserve to prioritize your own needs and your own wants. Otherwise, you're not living the life that you truly desire. And just remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So even if there are people relying on you, you have to be able to put yourself first. You have to be able to prioritize your own needs, because you can't give your best to others if you just don't feel like your best. So put yourself first. See where you can prioritize yourself. See what you can take off your plate. What is a priority to you, and how can you show up with that small bit of effort that is still strengthening those habits, rewiring that all or nothing mentality, and is still nourishing your body, your mind, and your soul. So I know this was helpful. It was helpful for me to even just be speaking it out loud and giving myself even more reminders of why I need to slow down. And yeah, we're doing the best that we can. So let's remove that pressure from ourselves. Let's incorporate more rest, more self-care, more self-love, and let's create our own truth.